Hey, what's up guys? I'm Paul Fink from No Limit Training, and today we're going to be able to shed some calories by doing a complex. And a complex is going to be 5 different exercises back to back that transition from one to the next using the same weight with the same amount of reps. For starters, we're going to start off with a deadlift. We're going to do 10 reps of the deadlift followed by 10 cleans. Then we move into 10 front squats with 10 shoulder presses, and then finally we got 10 push-ups. We want to do this 2 or 3 times through, and at the end of each complex we're going to get around a 30-second water break. And as Steve is warming up in the background, you want to get a little bit of perspiration so you can get that heart rate up to go straight into the complex. Simple jumping jacks or running on the treadmill or on the bike will get you warmed up and nice and ready to do the complex. And now Steve is going to show us the examples. And we're going to get started using a barbell. We have 65 pounds on the barbell, and the key with these exercises is the transitions. Notice as Steve does the exercises, you watch the transition from deadlifts to cleans to front squats to shoulder presses to push-ups as the weight goes all the way up through the course of his body. And now Steve is going to get started with 10 deadlifts. Notice as Steve is doing the deadlifts, the bar is close to his legs, his back is straight, and at the top he sticks out his chest. And now if you want a little bit of a challenge, at the end, once you stick it out to your chest, roll your shoulders back and give that a nice little shrug. This is really important that you use your legs in this exercise and not your back, because this can put a lot of stress on your back. Now Steve is going to do 10 hang cleans. Notice the 3 points of extension on the hang clean. The ankles, hips, and shoulders all come up. Really explosive movement. And catch the weight right on top of your shoulders. Nice job, Steve. Nice job. And now we're moving into 10 front squats. Now as Steve is doing this, he's sitting back nice deep like a chair. He's got the weight on his shoulders. And we're going to get a little bit fatigued here, so it's really important that you keep those elbows up, because as you get more fatigued, the elbows will start to drop, and then your back, and it gets significant pressure on your lower back, which is what we don't want. So really try to keep your elbows up while doing this. And now Steve is going to go into 10 shoulder presses. The key here, at the top of this exercise, poke your head through as Steve is doing. The wrong way, push up, and your head is back beyond your shoulders. This is going to cause a lot of stress on that lower back. Now Steve's going to do 10 push-ups here. And the harder the push-ups, the lower you will have the bar on the rack. The easier the push-ups, the higher the bar will be on the rack. Steve is pretty fit, so he's going to put it on the lowest level. And notice his body is in a flat line, tightening that core and keeping it all perfect. And now we're going to move into the second complex. This is all going to be used with a kettlebell, and the 5 exercises are all going to be with the same amount of weight, with the same amount of reps. First exercise, kettlebell swings. Second exercise, kettlebell high pulls. Third exercise, kettlebell squat press. Fourth exercise, kettlebell push-up crawlovers. And fifth exercise is a kettlebell burpee. And notice as Steve busts out 10 of these kettlebell swings, it's the 3 points of extension again. You've got the hips, the ankles, and the shoulders all coming up. You should never be using your arms or shoulders in this exercise, all driven from the lower body to explode up. And this second exercise, the kettlebell high pull, as Steve is doing the squat, he gets nice and low, brings that butt behind the back, and pulls up right between his ears. Way to go, Steve. And now as Steve gets into the squat press, make sure you get nice and deep in that squat and press it directly above your head. If there's any pressure on that lower back, make sure you try to stick your head through at the top, avoiding that stress on the lower portion of your back. And now as Steve gets into the push-up step-overs, really important that you watch your wrists here, because it can be tricky going across that kettlebell. Steve's got a flat line on his back, keeping that core nice and tight and engaged the whole time. When you walk over, make sure you get your eyes right in between your hands, get a nice deep push-up, and then come back over the kettlebell. As Steve moves into the kettlebell burpees, Really important, when you grab that weight and jump up, that you're nice and secure with the weight, that you do not lose the weight on the way up. And when you come back down, place it down, make sure you have control of the weight, put your hands down and then jump out. This is a controlled exercise as well as a high intensity exercise. This is going to target all the muscles of the body. It's going to be pretty challenging, so be careful once you're getting towards the end because you will be fatigued. Great work, Steve. Alright, now we're going to move into the third complex of the day using a medicine ball. You're going to use a 12-pound medicine ball here. This is going to be pretty heavy, so if you want to start with a lighter weight and work your way up, that's going to be perfect. We got 5 exercises doing the same amount of reps with the same amount of weight. First exercise, we have lunge to single arm shoulder press. Second exercise, medicine ball slams. Third, we have up downs with the medicine ball. Fourth, we have runners on top of the medicine ball. And fifth, we have a push-up on the medicine ball. All right, let's get started. So Steve's gonna start out doing a split squat or a lunge to a single arm shoulder press. Notice as Steve comes out, his knee is right over his toe. It's not further, it's not back, getting that nice quad fired up. And then as he comes back, he brings that shoulder right up to the ceiling, focusing on that deltoid and that shoulder. You got 10 of these each leg. So as you're doing this, if you can't do this at first, go for control. You can always do the speed later. Steve's got this nailed down pretty good, so he's got the speed and the control at the same time. The second exercise, we're going to move to medicine ball slams. This exercise is going to be more of an explosive exercise, really focusing on the hip drive down to the bottom. You want to get that full range of motion down to the bottom, and this is kind of a bouncy ball, so watch your face as it comes right back up at you. Third exercise is an up and down with the medicine ball. And now as you come down, watch your wrist. It's really going to focus the stabilizers in your wrist because that ball is going to want to move everywhere. So as Steve comes down, he's nice and controlled, brings his feet out, jumps back in, and then pops right back up with that shoulder press. Alright, as Steve is doing these runners, be careful on your wrist because all your body weight is going to be on your wrist. And make sure when you tuck that knee in for the speed, you get that nice crunch in that core. And you can also get 10 each leg if you want to double it up and do 20. And now Steve's doing these push-ups. He is not in a modified position. You have no shame going down into a modified position because you're going to be pretty gassed by the end of these exercises. You're going to give nice solid 10 reps and then finish right on top of the ball.
Hey, there you have it, guys. Hopefully this helps when you're putting together some fat loss workouts. Once again, work hard at this. If this becomes way too easy and too routine, we will have another one for you. But try to get through this as many times as you can. We're going to shoot for 3 to 5 rounds through these complexes. And definitely hydrate and make sure you get a good cool down right now with a nice stretch. Thanks, guys.